Mm. Oh, the camera's on? Oh, the camera's been on this whole time, huh? Well, I didn't know that. Hello and welcome everyone to the next video. As promised, I'm sorry I am falling a little bit behind. Like always, I'm always late. Always late, always behind. But, sometimes it's like you gotta gather up different videos together. You need to compile them together. You need to think of the next topic for a video or a stream or whatever. You need to let certain drama play out to its end first. All that stuff, right? Um and sometimes you forget what you did a video on and what you didn't, because I forgot I did a whole video on the Jasper Vet drama thing already. I forgot I did a video on that, and I'm like, I shouldn't really talk about this. I'm like, oh wait, I already did a video on this. I don't have to. But yeah, so today we are focusing on DSP, the biggest Karen on the internet right now. And we've got a couple things I wanted to talk about, all relating to that, because he is the biggest Karen that I know of. And as someone who does work in customer service, I hate people like him, as we're going to see. And he's the worst type of person there is in terms of dealing with customers anyway. Well, in general, he's probably pretty bad too. You know what yeah. So let's get started. Hopefully this isn't too loud for y'all. And we'll go. Let me know if this is too loud or too low.
All right, well, guys,
that's
really all I have to talk about today, schedule-wise.
Okay, cool. We're done. Bye.
Stuff coming up. Now we can move on to the story that many people want to hear.
Oh, yeah. So many people want to hear
all up in my business. And again, I have literally done the absolute maximum I can do to separate my personal life from my public life. Things that go on behind the scenes here that have nothing to do with the streams, simply put, have nothing to do with the streams. Now, if it's something that's social and not harmful, for example, you want to know what my wife's, making today for dinner or something like that, I'm more than happy to share those stories.
More than happy, even though no one gives a crap.
Not intrusive to my private life, I'll tell you.
No one gives a crap.
But for the most part, I don't want to tell you about stuff going on behind the scenes because sadly, I have a group of thousands of stalkers on the internet who all have messed up brains. I'm sorry, it's just true. These people obsess with me so much that they absolutely try to get every single piece of information they possibly can to basically hurt me.
And obsessed with him so much means they remember the lies that he told before. And he's upset because we remember the bullshit lies that he's said. That's what that means.
I'll give you an example. Are you ready? So yesterday on my stream, I received the phone call about this interruption that I needed to have on my stream. I went off of this screen and I went to this screen right here, but it was open like this. And I picked up my phone in my hand like this and I answered it. And as I was lifting my phone up to my head like this to answer it, for a brief second right here on the screen, it showed my phone screen. These fucking obsessed nut jobs, I'm not kidding you, tried to enhance the phone screen to see what it said in an attempt to try to figure out and contact whoever this was on the phone. I'm not kidding you.
I'm not joking.
They actually posted it up on Twitter. They said, oh, we really tried to enhance the visuals of his phone that he accidentally had in the corner of his screen, but we couldn't get it clear enough to figure out who he was talking about on the phone. Sorry about that. They posted it publicly. Do you not understand that when you do that, you show that you're fucking crazy? Do you not understand that? I mean, if you don't, you literally should immediately go speak to a doctor. You're nuts. This is not your life. This is not your business.
The age-old mental health, you guys are crazy argument. I always love hearing about that. How we're the mentally ill ones coming from the most mentally unstable guy on the internet with a host of personality disorders. But we're the crazy ones, right? Yeah, okay.
If it were...
And people wouldn't do this if you had a huge history of lying and scamming and being a hypocrite. You know that, right? Like, if you didn't do all this crazy shit in the past, you wouldn't have people like us doing this now.
Then it would make sense.
It's
this has
directly
nothing
because
to do
of
with
your
you.
own
Why would you
reactions.
try to enhance my fucking phone screen?
Because it's
To
funny.
figure out who I'm talking to on the phone.
Because
and the worst
it's
part
also
about
funny.
it is, I told everyone that today I was going to tell you the story of what's going on. I promised you were going to find out. So why would you then?
Because they don't trust you. Because you're probably going to lie about it. We don't trust. Like, how are we supposed? Oh, we're just supposed to take your word for who you were calling? No, they wanted to verify.
Try to do that because you're fucking crazy. You get it? Get help. That's not normal behavior of any human on this planet. That's obsessive behavior. That is what crazy people do.
Behavior.
This is why people get restraining orders.
Crazy behavior over here. Hey, bada bing.
Absolutely out of
hey.
control the amount of stalking these people are trying to do.
I'm Italian. Did I mention I'm
Where's the
Italian?
Michael Jordan gift?
Stop it. Get some help.
He even fucking
I completely
played
forgot we
it. Oh my god, Phil. You even fucking played it.
had it. Thank you for reminding me. It's been months since I played that. So, if anything, please let this be a wake-up call.
Fucking
If you
played
see
it.
someone on the internet who's obsessing about me like that, do me a favor. Tell them to get help. No, I mean it now. They need help.
Oh,
These
yes.
people need to... Don't give them a...
Yeah, so he's telling his dents to insult other people, which is just going to bring the trolls up against them and put them in harm's way. That makes sense.
Attention. Don't watch their garbage content on the internet, which they try to put up as news. Instead, tell them seek help. Stop with the nonsense. You need help. You shouldn't be obsessing over some random person on the internet
his
who puts
fan
out
base
gameplay
over
videos.
to defend you
should
for
seek
you,
help.
right?
There's absolutely no
Is that what Tony
circumstance where
Pizzaroni
someone should
fucking
be
did?
trying to figure out who is on my phone. It's not your business. It's none of your fucking business. You shouldn't be doing that. You are messed up and you need help. Okay?
And I'm just like, not for nothing, because, like, you know, whatever. You don't have to buy the newest, latest phone or whatever, right? But I'm still surprised he's carrying around that old-ass iPhone 6, was it? It's still an older iPhone because it has the home screen button circle at the bottom of it, right? And any sort of newer... Hold on. Any sort of newer iPhone since, what was it? SE, iPhone 10 maybe or something. Ever since then, they like got rid of the home screen. They got rid of the headphone jack, that kind of stuff. So I'm surprised he still has such an old iPhone. Or I should rather say, I'm surprised his old iPhone can still play WWE Champions anyway. Maybe he only plays WWE Champions so much because he can't play any of the more visually demanding gacha games that are out there. Like, you're not gonna be playing Genshin Impact on that, but he's not gonna play that anyway because it has anime waifus on it, and he doesn't like that. If it had more hot guys on there, maybe he would, but I don't know. But I'm just saying, with all the bullshit money he wastes and spends on all this crazy shit, I'm surprised he hasn't upgraded his phone in a while yet.
So, I mean it now. These people need to be called out. These people need to be brought attention to, that these are destructive people on the internet that need to be stopped. It's to the point where now I know at any moment, anything I do, they're trying to hurt me. So, it's time to end it. It's time to actually call it what it is, madness.
It's time to end this, and the only way to stop the haters is to send your, to be honest, mentally challenged, kind of slow dent heads into the crossfire, because obviously if some dent head detractor goes like and tries to defend Phil and insults trolls are going to clap back at them, and then they're going to go back whining to Phil and be like, well, they'll be hot treating the likes and be like, Phil, they insulted me, they're so mean, and he'll make another segment about it, playing the victim. And yeah, exactly. So, okay, let me rephrase this a little bit. Phil tells his dents to go into the crossfire, to go into the line of fire, cross the border to the danger zone, and have them call them us out for being mentally ill, challenged, insulting us, essentially, right? And then obviously trolls are gonna clap back at them, and like clap back at them. Possibly some might even dox them. I don't approve of doxing at all, but some people might, or at the very least insult them back. They're gonna go back to Phil and say, "Oh, look, all this! They're doing all this bad stuff to me for no reason. They might have doxed me, or they insulted me, and they made fun of me and called me a dent and everything." And then Phil will go on and play the victim and say, you see, these detractors are insulting my viewers, my fans who did nothing wrong except like me, when he's the one who's putting them intentionally in harm's way. Does no one else see that? Like he's literally using them as pawns in a chess game. And he's like just sacrificing them to protect his ego. He doesn't care if they get hurt, unless he can use that to play the victim.
This is not conscious, intelligent thought. This is obsession.
Oh, apparently we're not even conscious anymore. We're, I guess we're unconscious. I'm actually recording this, in the astral realm because my body is unconscious upstairs in my bed, because I've been in a coma for 10 years, and I'm just unconsciously streaming recording this video in the astral realm because of that. Okay, because anyone who's conscious would never dare criticize this man.
This is to the point of pain and suffering for everyone around them. If they
this
have
is
friends
even the
or family
point
members,
of the video,
they need to
and he's still pissing me
this
off.
Needs to happen. This is a serious discussion now. This is not, I'm joking around because I'm trying to stick it to my haters. No, there's people who don't like me, and they'll laugh at my mistakes, and, they'll watch me play Street Fighter 6, they'll laugh at my rage and how I go crazy. There's a difference between that and, can we analyze what's on Phil's phone so we can contact the party on the other end and try to harass them? No, that's insanity. That has to end.
And he assumed, okay, so 1 or 2 detractors did this, maybe, if that. And he's automatically assuming that every single detractor must have done this now because 1 or 2 people did. Because he thinks we're all some fucking hive mind, and there's some king detractor out there that's organizing all of us together. I'm like, none of that is true, Phil. We're all individuals doing our own shit. Just because 1 person or 2 people or a few people did this doesn't mean everyone's doing that.
We have to draw the line. As people with moral compasses inside of us,
okay, now we're pretending to be fucking moral. Jesus,
there's a difference between
you wouldn't know the first thing about being moral
on the internet or actually trying to harass and ruin their lives. That has to end. All right. So I'm calling it publicly now. People need to step up and speak up against it. You're the ones. I don't.
Yeah. See right here, back to front. No, you go do this, not us. Because he shouldn't be sending you guys out to do that.
People come to me.
He doesn't care about
you. Phil, are you aware these nut jobs are doing this? No, I'm not, because I don't pay attention to it. But now it's time to call it out. We shouldn't be allowing to do that. Why are people allowed to just do this stalking on the internet? Again, if this were real life, you get a restraining order. But because it's the internet, it's all okay, right? No, it's not. It's enough.
Because who's going to enforce that? How are you going to hold up and enforce a restraining order online? Oh, wait, they have something like that. It's called blocking people. So just fucking block the person.
Is enough. Stop the madness, okay? Now, let us now continue on logically, because the thing is, again, I never would share with you stuff about my private life unless it's necessary. In this case, my weekend got thrown into disarray because of this. I don't really have to share with you what's going on, but I can. It's not a big deal. It's something that's already been ongoing in my life over the years. It's affected things. It's a really stupid story. It's mundane. It's not very interesting. I would say the actual backstory is more interesting than the current story of what happened this week. All right? So here, I'm going to tell you the backstory first. Then I'll get to what happened this weekend and why I had to change my schedule. All right? So the backstory is more interesting. I'll tell you the more interesting story first. Here it goes. Ready?
Oh,
9 years ago, I moved here to Washington State.
9 years ago.
And
a decade
ago. A lot
of
things were set up properly, and a lot of things were not. When I moved into the house, some things had not had maintenance in over a decade, which is ridiculous. How do you maintain a house without doing maintenance on the...
So why did you buy the house if you saw this before you bought the house? You did a walkthrough of the house. You saw there was a water damage on the ceiling in that one spot. You saw the central air didn't work properly. You saw that it wasn't maintained or up to code or whatever the fuck you want to say. Right? Like, he saw all this and he still decided to buy it because it was in a gated community.
Appliances and
it's all on him
and shit like that.
Because he's the
you
one
know,
who
you
bought
guys
it
know if you watch
after
those
seeing all
early
this
moving
shit.
vlogs, you'll see the house was in disarray. It was a mess. There was shit all over the place that shouldn't
So
have been
why
there.
did you buy it?
It was a big mess, right? Well, one of the things
It's
that
on
was
you
in the
for
house when I
buying
moved
it.
in was obviously all the plumbing and stuff. And sadly, over the years, I have had a lot of issues with plumbing and things in the house.
Which I never
that have
fixed.
crept up. The shower has had issues. I have a shower I don't even use.
Because he doesn't replace it. You know how much money this motherfucker makes a month? And he doesn't bother to fix a shower? I think that whole bathroom was fucked up too. It wasn't just a shower, it was like the toilet, the shower. Like, you know how, like, in any normal person would have fixed that a long time ago, given all the extra income he makes, right?
Can't use it. It's all messed up, and it's going to take tons of money to renovate that bathroom to get it to work again because it was all leaking and rusted up, and it's not worth discussing because that's actually not the issue today. I'm just saying this house has had many problems since I moved in, but it's the same as any house. Houses need maintenance. If you don't maintain them, they have problems. The previous owners did not do good maintenance on this house, leading to tons of problems that I've encountered in the last decade. Okay? So one of the problems that I had was with this stupid sink that I have. And allow me to explain why
Lord.
this is
Here we go.
so important, okay? I live in the state of Washington. The state of Washington is considered a green state.
Oh my God, here we go.
What that means is that everything we do is monitored for environmental reasons, okay?
Black mode
we
streaming
have
coming.
very strict limits on things that we are allowed to do. We have to recycle.
Let this sink in.
We have to do, what do they call it? I can't even remember what it's called. It's a special garbage can that we have. That we're supposed to put biodegradable materials in, like food waste, yard waste, and stuff. And we have to put it at the end of our street every week to come get picked up. It's weird, because when I lived in Connecticut, none of this shit was important or existed.
Compost
but here it's
pile?
like just mandatory. Everyone's been doing it forever, okay? So when I moved here, it's called compost. That's what people are saying. I forgot what it's called. It's called composting. That's correct. When I moved here, I was told there's very strict guidelines. Get this. You get 1 can of trash that you can throw out every 2 weeks. 1 can of trash per household every 2 weeks. So if you have pets, if you have...
So, I wanted to bring something up with this. So I have normal plates, right? I have like bowls, cups, plates, ceramic plates, whatever you want to call them, right? But I also like to use paper plates sometimes, depending on what is on there. Because for paper plates, sometimes it's just easier to use the paper plate instead, because I don't like doing dishes. So I prefer to prevent having a whole bunch of dishes if I'll just use a paper plate instead, if possible. Because I admit I don't like paper plate, or I don't like doing dishes, and I don't have an actual dishwasher. I actually have to wash the dishes by hand because I don't have a fucking dishwasher like everyone else gets to have. But that's my apartment's problem. But so I use paper plates, and I probably also go out to eat a fair bit more than I should. I will admit that, because I can't really cook all that good. I am learning. I'm slowly learning how to cook stuff. But it's a process of learning how to cook and having the right ingredients available, so I do tend to go out to eat a bit, as well as having paper plates. And because of those two factors, I mean, it's just me and my boyfriend that lives here. It's just us two, right? We don't have a pet. We don't have a son of a cat called Jasper. No one else lives in the place, right? So I would wager we produce a single oversized trash bag every week. Right? Like about one big trash bag a week. Maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe like 1.5. Depending on the week and depending on different variables, like how often we go out that week, whatever. If we have food that has gone bad in our fridge because we forget about it, because that seems to happen a bit, I'll be like, oh, I forgot I had apples in there. Well, they're not good anymore. So we have to throw those out. So it depends. Well, it depends on what you make, or if there's like, you know what I mean. So it depends, but the fact that we go out to eat often, so we have a lot of like McDonald's McDonald's bags, Taco Bell bags, Burger King bags, like fast food bags, right? So like, oh, you get a bag of fast food, open it up, take the food out, eat it, throw the bag out. So you throw that bag into the trash. But that's a lot of accumulation of trash in that garbage bag that is building up because we go out to eat too much, correct? And then on top of that, sometimes like using the paper plates. Like I said, if I'm making something at home and if it's not something that's like really greasy or really soaking through, that would go on a normal plate. So I would just use a paper plate, right? So if it's not something too messy or too wet or too soggy, I'll put it on a paper plate. So like, oh, I'm going to make some hamburgers, put them on a bun, put them on a paper plate, go and eat them. Because they don't need to be on a normal plate, because I just want to throw it out. I don't want to create more dishes for me to do if at all possible. I mean, I obviously still have dishes to do because I'm still going to have cups and silverware and all that jazz. But, plus I only think I have I need to buy more normal plates because I think I only have 4 normal size plates and 3 oversized plates. Like you got the big plates, you got the medium plates, and you got the small little saucers that no one fucking uses, because what the hell am I going to put in this tiny little 6-inch wide saucer? What the fuck is that for, right? I don't know. What am I supposed to do with that? It's just a tiny little thing. Unless, the only time I really use that for is if I want some dipping sauce or something, if I'm having chicken tendies or nuggies or something, and I want to dip something, I'll put ketchup or ranch on it. But what else am I supposed to use this tiny ass little saucer plate for? I'm not gonna put a cup on top of that, and no, that's dumb. I'm just gonna have a coffee cup and drink out of that. I digress. So I don't have that many plates. These are all hand-me-downs from my mom. So I need to actually go and get maybe a new plate set or something to have more plates. But that's another reason why I use paper plates sometimes too. I have a crap load of bowls. I have so many goddamn bowls, but I do like to eat cereal a lot. So, and soup and, other stuff. So it's I use bowls more than I use plates. So I have a shitload of bowls, a bunch of different cups, not that many normal plates though. So I need to invest in a new plate set, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I digress. So because I use paper plates, because I go out to eat a lot, it creates more garbage than normal for 2 people. And that's what he does. Because we know he uses paper plates, and we know he DoorDashes every other goddamn meal. And that is why him and Kat produce so much goddamn waste, more than a normal couple would, is because they DoorDash at least once a day. Guaranteed, probably at least once a day they DoorDash something. And that is going to be a lot of waste, because it probably comes in some plastic or paper bag, and then it has I don't know exactly where he goes to eat, but then the food itself is in another container inside the bag. He opens that up. Maybe it'll even come with a disposable fork or a spoon or something. He probably and that's a lot of waste just for one meal. And you times that by how many times he's actually doing that, as well as paper plates here and there. This is why he has so much goddamn waste. Oh, my mouse wasn't working for a second. I'm like, where the fuck's my mouse?
You have kids, if you have anything that generates any kind of
But you don't have a kid, Phil.
trash, you're pretty fucked. All right? If you have more trash than that, you have to go to the dump and pay to throw it out yourself and drive it there yourself. That's it.
Has anyone actually looked into how far away the dump is from his house? Because I'm willing to bet his dump is not that fucking far away. But you're the one who chose to live in Washington State, though, Phil. You should have researched all of this shit before you fucking even decided to move there. Like, I like the place I live right now, right? The place I live now, they don't have curbside pickup. They, like, it's a... So I live in, like, a 2-story townhouse that's split in half long ways, right? So it's like, there's a bunch of 2-story townhouses all together in this, like, community that's like a unified community of apartments complexes. And some apartments are one floor only, some apartments are both floors, whatever. But my apartment is like, it's a 2-story townhouse, and so it's not very wide, but it's very long. So it's like a 2-story long house, and they split it in half. And I have a neighbor sharing one side of the house on that side with a wall, obviously. It's not like it's a big open thing. They split. And I have the other side. And it's 2 stories, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Right? But all of these buildings are not physically connected, because it's not like an actual apartment complex where you go inside, you walk down the hallway, and all these buildings. It's not like that. They're standalone buildings, but they're all like, it's not a gated community either, so I wouldn't say that. But it's like, they're all on its own road, so it's like, I don't know what the actual right terminology would be, but it's like 4 or 5 rows connected in this like big square grid pattern. And each of these buildings, you have your own door you can leave and exit from. It's not like it's not like an apartment complex where it's like all in one giant building. It's not like that. So like, I have my own door to the outside. I go and exit, whatever. But the whole facility has its own big dumpster. You know, like, it has this like fenced in dumpster area that all the residents of the apartment facilities use for the dumpster. And it's great because they don't charge you. It's like obviously included in your rent, and you have to be a resident here of the whole facilities in order to use it. And you can just dump as much shit as you want in there. I mean, technically it says, please refrain from dumping furniture in there, but sometimes people will dump bigger, like a desk or a chair or stuff like that there anyway. But no one's really monitoring and caring about that, so it's like, whatever. But it's nice because there's no curbside pickup. You don't have to drag anything to the curb. You just take the garbage either walk it over there or drive it over there and dump it. So it's super easy and super great because like, we'll just like, it'll gather, like, we'll have like 1 or 2 bags of garbage. We'll just throw it in the trunk and drive it over there and dump it, or however much else we have, or whatever else. And it's not really, I think it's like, it includes recycling. So like, they sort it themselves later on. They even tell us, there's like a big sign that says, there's a big sign in front of the dumpster that says, don't sort your recyclables with your garbage. We'll like do something with it or something like that. So it's like, I don't know if they actually recycle it themselves or not, but so yeah, we just throw it all in there. But obviously in New York, we have a bottle redemption thing. So any cans and bottles that say 5 cents deposit, you save those up and you can take them to a redemption center or Walmart or something, and you'll get money back for that, because you got to pay a stupid can deposit fee when you buy these things. So we keep those separate, obviously, but still, I know in some places like they don't have a bottle redemption thing, so like you'll just save up your can separately and they'll give you the price of aluminum per pound or something like that. But yeah, I really like how my place does it, but I mean, yeah, that probably would suck if you had to have only one bag of garbage every 2 weeks. That kind of sucks. If it was one bag of garbage every week, that would be totally fine. That's totally plausible, especially for a family of just a couple. I mean, not a family, because he doesn't have a family. It's just a couple or whatever. But just for a couple, one bag of garbage every week would be fine. Every 2 weeks, given all the waste these people produce, that's a little rough.
Now, they say, well, you're not supposed to throw out any recyclables. You wash them, you separate them, you put them into another bin, and those get picked up separately. Okay. How many of those do you get? One bin every 2 weeks. Okay? So with all these strict regulations being a green state, something that's actually absolutely essential for living here is to have a food waste or garbage disposal in your sink. You need it because every time that you wash plates, every time that you make a meal, you can't throw food out. It's not even allowed. You're supposed to either compost it or grind it up and wash it down the drain. All right? That's what you're supposed to do here in Washington State. It's like known by everyone here. Everyone here has one. Okay? I never had one back in Connecticut. I never had a use for it. So when I moved out here, it was my first time using it. And, you know, you do wrong things, you clog the goddamn thing up.
I guarantee you that he's putting shit that shouldn't be in the garbage disposal in the garbage disposal. Like, yeah, if you have like a little bit of something soft that's food related, you can probably put that in. But I'm visualizing this idiot like just throwing like whole chicken wings with the bone. Well, not whole, but like eating chicken wings that still have bones in it, or like bones or whatever. Probably just throwing those in there too, because he doesn't want to separate that or anything. Like, or something like, yeah. So like he's probably throwing out stuff that shouldn't be in a garbage disposal in the garbage disposal. But again, I never really had a garbage disposal ever, so I don't really know what you should and shouldn't be putting in there. But he guarantee you he's putting stuff in there that shouldn't be in there.
But about 3 years ago, all right, in 2020, this was when COVID was starting. All of a sudden, one day, my garbage disposal, food disposal, starts to smoke. There's just smoke coming out of it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I look, it's not working, and I'm like, dude, if it smokes, there's no way I'm going to try to use this thing. I got to call a plumber. What else am I going to do, right? So I called a plumber, you know, and the thing is, I never had a...
And that's another thing that I kind of like about... That's another thing I kind of like about renting an apartment, okay? Like, a lot of people shit on renting an apartment, and I get that, because at the end of the day, it is nicer to own your own place. But you're responsible for everything that goes on with your own place, right? So that's the thing here, right? I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted so many times right now. But that's the thing here is, how do I phrase this? He bought a condo, and a condo is different because it's basically like a smaller house for you, right? You own that, but you don't own the building itself. Like, condo is basically the worst of the three, really. Because at least if it's like a whole ass house, you would own the entire building. And probably the land on it too. Here, you don't own the building. You still have like basically homeowner association rules, but they're called condo rules instead. But the same thing. You got rules telling you what you can and can't do technically with it, even though you technically own the building, or not own the building. You own the actual like condo, but you're still bordered on both sides by neighbors. So it's like the worst of both worlds, really, because it's not really a house that you own the whole thing, and you get the same experience of being in an apartment, but you don't get any of the benefits of living in an apartment. And let me explain. For me, the benefits of living in an apartment is I'm not very handy. Sorry. I'm not very handy, right? So I don't know why I'm shouting. Can you hear me? I'm gonna try to like not be as loud. I'm not very handy. I don't know how to fix things. It depends on what it is. Like there are like smaller things that I could probably figure out. Or I can look in Google, or I can ask my dad, dude. Right? But for the most part, if something like my shower broke down or I had a plumbing issue, I wouldn't know how to fix that myself. Okay? But the good thing I like about having an apartment um is I could just call up the head office there, be like, "Hey, so this isn't working." Like, "Okay, well, we'll send someone." And usually within a day or two, they'll have someone over here and fix it. Cuz they have their own like their own maintenance people that go around and fix things that are wrong or whatever. So it's like, "Hey, this is wrong. Hey, this is wrong." And in a pretty timely manner, they'll get around to fixing it. Because you're paying for that, really. I mean, it's all included in rent. And honestly, my rent's not that bad for living in New York. But I don't live in New York City, mind you. I'm not going to dox my own location, but I don't live in New York City. So, but still, my rent's not too bad. Can't complain. It includes having a nice dumpster. It includes, if anything goes wrong mechanically with like plumbing or lighting or something like that, and or if it's like an appliance that came with it. Like I think for this apartment, the fridge and the oven slash stovetop all came with the apartment. So like if my fridge doesn't work, I could be like, "Hey, my fridge stopped working," and they're gonna replace it or fix it. Well, they'll try to fix it first, and if they can't, they'll replace it, which is really nice. Stuff like that. And it even has outlets and hookups for a washing and drying machine, so I don't have to share a washing and drying machine with anyone. It's nice. I like living in this apartment, honestly. Um, and of course, obviously, I can't really afford a house. Well, actually, if my mortgage was the same price as rent, then yeah, I could afford it. But they don't look at that. They're like, "Oh well, you can't afford a $400 mortgage, so keep paying." I'll just throw a random number out here because I'm not gonna say how much I pay for rent, but it's not this high. Oh, but keep paying $1,200 a month for rent because you can't afford a $400 mortgage. I'm like, that makes no damn sense, right? But well, I digress. So it's like there are perks to renting, there are perks to owning. But when you own a condo, you don't get any of the perks of either side, is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, and then if you own your own home, like you actually own your own home and own land, but it's all part of a homeowners association, that is like the worst thing you could do. I honestly do not know why anyone would ever buy a home that's part of a homeowners association. Bitch, I own the home, I own the land, and I own the actual building home. I own the land, and these asshole neighbors are still gonna tell me what I can and can't do with my own fucking property? Fuck you. I mean, there's differences between a homeowners association and like the town or community saying, "Oh, you're like," it's one thing if you're like hoarding a bunch of shit on your lawn and it's like looks like a fucking mess, and the actual community or town has to be like, "Hey, you got to clean this up, or you are at risk of losing your home." Because I watch a lot of hoarders. Like that's one thing, but like if you're like, "Oh, well, actually, you're not cutting your grass short enough," and with a homeowner association, so you got to actually fix it. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's not like it's a huge ass mess. Fuck off. I never got that. Why would anyone buy a house as part of that? Like, no, I would never join a homeowners association. That's like the worst thing you could do. But anyway, I digress. Where was I? What was I talking about? I don't even know. Uh, yeah. So it's like he knew all this stuff going into it. He knew that it was like, yeah, I had to do only the recycling, like only that and all that shit, right? And he's just, "Oh, because I can only have one thing of garbage or whatever, I'm not gonna actually like." Why don't you just make a compost pile, Phil? It's not that hard. You have a little bit of a lawn. If I remember correctly, you still have a little bit of a lawn. You can just make a little bit of a compost pile outside in the lawn, and it'll be fine. But no, you're just going to throw everything in the garbage disposal.
A plumber come out here before, so I didn't know what I was doing, and I just picked any old one off the internet. So I call a plumber, and the guy shows up. And when the guy shows up, immediately I notice something. He's just like a normal guy. He's not wearing any kind of like an outfit or anything that says, oh, I work for a plumbing company. He's just a guy. Yeah, I'm here for the company or whatever. All right. So he comes in and he looks at this disposal unit and he goes...
It's called outside contractors, Phil.
Yeah, basically, it's fried. I was like, well, why did it fry? I didn't do anything. He's like, nah, it just happens. He's like, it just happens with these things. He's like, and you don't have like a high-end unit. You have what's considered a mid to lower range unit. So the previous homeowners put in a piece of crap garbage disposal in this house, basically. And he goes, well, these things are expensive, so I'm going to give you a quote, and here's your quote, and all I'm going to do, I can replace it with exactly the same unit, but this one should last a while. You'll get a year warranty with us as the company, but then you'll also get like a 5-year warranty with the manufacturer. All right. So he quotes me. It's very expensive. All right. I'm not happy with the price, but I need it. Like, this is something essential. If I don't have this, I'm going to be stuck with fucking tons of food waste that I need to shove into a composter every week, or I'm going to have to go to the dump myself constantly. I need this thing. Everyone here needs one. So, all right, I'll just go with it. All right. Now, immediately, I should have seen some red flags, but again, this is the middle of COVID and everything's going on. I'm not doing research. Everyone's all stressed out to wit's end, right? Immediately, one of the things that I should have noted, he says, well, here's the thing. I'm just going to give you a new unit of the same one you had, but everything should still work. Like the ring and the thing to install it in your sink, it still works. I'll leave that. The piping, well, it's the same piping. I don't have to change the piping at all because it's the same thing. So I'll just leave everything there. I'll just replace the unit. Okay? That was stupid. I should have demanded that he give me full service, but I didn't. Because come to find out, he charged me full price as if I was actually having everything completely replaced. He didn't do any of that work. All he did was pull the broken unit off, put the new unit on, and charge me as if he had done all that labor, which he didn't do. He was gone in 20 minutes when he should have been here like an hour and a half doing the work. That's on me. 100%. I should have asked for the service I was paying for. I didn't get it because I was ignorant. That's on me.
Still are ignorant,
all right?
though.
So literally it was a swap of a unit. He just swapped out the unit. Done. Okay? So, we got a new garbage disposal / food waste disposal. All right? This was early 2020 when this happened. Okay? Within 1 week of the new disposal being replaced, it's leaking all over the place. Every time I turn it on, it's spraying food and water all over into the bottom of my sink, into the cabinet underneath.
Womp.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Obviously, something's wrong here. So I call the company. I say, listen, you just had this guy come out here. I need you to come back here and figure this out. I just paid a lot of money. All right, he'll be out. So he came out within a couple of days. Once again, couldn't use my thing for days. He comes out. Same guy shows up. What's the problem? I said, I'll show you. I turn on the water. I turn it on. Fucking Niagara Falls underneath my sink. He goes, well, there's a problem with these units. If they leak like that, it's basically junk. We can't repair it. We just got to replace it. So I'm going to get you another one. All right. So he did. So he went. He got another of the same unit. All right. Installed it. This time tested it thoroughly. Didn't seem to leak. Everything seems fine. Okay. Everything seems to be going good. And like, all right. So he leaves. Now, first time in my life that I've used a food disposal or a garbage disposal. First time I've ever had a new one installed. So I don't know how they're supposed to behave when they're new. I don't know what they're supposed to look like when they're new. I don't know
You're
anything.
misbehaving,
right? I'm an ignorant
damn it.
guy. But, I paid a lot of money for this thing. So after having the first warranty replacement, I want to be sure this thing is working. So fast forward to like 3 weeks later. All right? And I'm looking at my food disposal, and this thing is completely rusted. The entire unit, you can see looking down into it, into the hole in the sink, it's completely rusted. It's covered in rust, right? And I'm like, is it really supposed to rust up like this within 3 weeks? I don't know. So I make a phone call to the company again, and I say, listen, Now, we already had a warranty replacement once. Obviously, the last thing I want is to have another warranty replacement. But I just want to know, should this be doing this? Is this a normal behavior for a food disposal to be rusted up like this after only 3 weeks? Or is this abnormal, and are all these units faulty? Should I be getting a different unit? Maybe this unit is a piece of junk and they're making them like junk now because one already broke. Maybe this one's faulty too. I just want answers. So they said, all right, here's what we're going to do. Under warranty, we're going to send out another plumber to take a look at your unit and confirm that it's working right and everything. Okay, sounds good to me. This all was 2020. This was over 3 years ago all this happened, just for clarification purposes for you guys, okay? So over 3 years ago, this is all going on. All right? So another plumber shows up, different guy. And I just happened to say to him, I said, you know, you're not wearing the outfit.
Oh my God.
From
It's a
this company.
contractor.
I'm curious, you know, why is that? He says, oh, because I don't really work for the company. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, that company doesn't really exist. All they are is a broker. What they do is they contact independent plumbers to do jobs, odd.
This is how a lot of companies operate. Like a lot of plumbers or whatever, like companies like this, they'll have like independent contractors. These independent contractors are plumbers for hire, basically. And they're like, contact this plumber and be like, hey, go over here. Like, this for the job, go over here and fix this. And they're like, yep. Because they don't have their own plumbers on staff. Like, they don't do that. They just like, will hire these independent contractors for, like, think of it as like a contractor for hire or like a plumber for hire kind of thing. So instead of assassin for hire, you got a plumber for hire, and they're just gonna like, I got a job for you. It's a really dirty job, but only you can do it. I'm like, I'm on it. And he like fucking packs his like plumbing equipment like a fucking ninja and goes off. Like most companies do that, Phil.
Jobs like this, so they don't actually have any full-time employees. I happen to get the call. It's kind of like, you know what it's like? Like one of these food delivery services, like Uber Eats or DoorDash. That's what the company was. They were a job broker, where all they would do is they would divvy out jobs to local plumbers, so you have no idea who you're getting. You don't know the quality of the plumber you're getting. You could get someone who's incredibly high quality and cares, and someone who's a scumbag who wants to rip you off. You have no clue who you're getting when you contact this company.
Phil, the contractors get paid from the company. They don't get paid from you. So it's like, it doesn't matter. These contractors are not getting paid for upselling you on stuff. They get paid by the company that you call. So it's like they're going to do whatever they think is right to fix the issue. They're not going to upsell you because they're not getting paid commission. They're getting paid by the actual company that you call.
Okay. So
what are you talking about?
I'm like, all right, that makes sense, I guess. So can you take a look at this garbage disposal? And he says, he looks at his notes, because, you know, he came to my house. He looks at his notes. He goes, wait a minute. He says, I'm here because your garbage disposal has some rust in it. I go, yes. He goes, that's normal. I said, oh? He goes, yeah, that's normal.
Oh.
He goes, these things rust up right away. It takes about a month. And after they're rusted, they're fine. They work fine for years and years and years. It's not a concern. They're not made of like you know, rust-proof metal. They're meant to do that. It's not a big deal. You don't have to worry about it. And I was like,
You would
so
think
why
they
are
would
you
be
here?
made of rust-proof.
And he goes, honestly, I have no clue why they sent me. This is something that easily anyone who knows anything about the product they're selling could have told you over the phone. I don't know why they sent me out here. And I said, all right, well, can you just look at it just to be safe? All right. So he looks at it. He tests it. He goes, yup. No, it's fine. He goes, this is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with this unit at all. This should last you years and years. You're good. Okay. Have a nice day. Thanks for stopping by. My concerns are now assuaded. No big deal. 10 minutes later. The hell? I open the door. It's the plumber. The guy, I'm not kidding you. This is him standing at my door. He's going just like this. And I say, what's wrong? Why are you back? He goes,
what's wrong?
I really don't want to do this, but the company who contracted me to come out here is telling me they're having me demand that you pay them $75 for this visit. And I said, what?
What?
He goes, yeah, So basically, they're demanding that you pay $75 that I came out here.
75
because
dolans.
I came out here for a warranty reason.
25
and since there's nothing wrong with the unit, now you have to pay for the visit. I said,
yeah, you're wasting their time and money and resources. Them having to hire someone to come out there is a waste of their time and money. So you gotta offer remuneration for them for doing that, because there's nothing actually wrong
are they out
with
of
the
their
union.
fucking minds? I didn't ask you to come out here. I had a
Yes, you
simple
did.
question. I called them to ask about the unit. They opted to send you out here under warranty. I had to take time out of my day for you to come out here. I would have rather you didn't come out here. I would have just liked to talk to you over the phone. All right? So I said to him, under no circumstances is I paying this company any more money. It sounds to me like they're pretty underhanded the way they work. I'm done with this company.
Yep.
And he goes,
Everyone is
I
underhanded
completely
except for
understand.
him.
Have a nice day. And he walked away. All right?
Have
and
a
that was
nice
it.
day.
2 weeks later, I get a voicemail from this company. Sir, we just want to let you know that as of today, your warranty with us is now void because you refused to pay for service. So you no longer have a warranty with our company. Don't contact us again for work. Have a nice day. That's the voicemail they left me. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
Now keep in
right to
mind,
me.
I'm not disclosing to you how much I paid this company. I paid them a lot of money for this. Okay? What kind of a company is this? It's a scam company. They don't have any full-time
Scam.
employees. They broker out jobs to people they
Most
don't even know if
companies
the
do
work is
that.
good.
It's not a
And
scam.
then they try to pull shit like this to make extra money. Because a
weren't
regular
doing
person
that.
probably wouldn't have disputed it. They would have said, all right, whatever, I don't want any trouble. Here, take $75.
Oh
Leave me
my
alone.
God.
Me, I'm not going to pay that. Like, fuck off. I'm not paying
Yeah.
that. I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid. Right?
Yes, you are very stupid,
So,
actually.
Yeah, they completely tried to scam me out of money for no reason.
Scam,
They easily could have just said on the phone, yeah, they rust up, it's fine, have a nice day. But they sent someone out to make money for no reason. Okay? It's pretty
You agreed to it. They're like, okay, well, we're gonna have someone out to go look at it, and you're like, okay, that means you're agreeing to have someone come out and look at it. You could have been like, no, do you know what's going on? They're like, well, let me look into it. But you agreed to it. Dummy.
ridiculous, right? So, officially, as of 3 years ago, I had never dealt with this company ever again. All right? So, have I had other issues, or have I had other, I shouldn't say issues, have I had other interactions with plumbers? I have since then. They've been fairly pleasant, other companies. So now fast forward to today, all right, to the modern day, and for 3 years, have I had issues with my food waste disposal unit? Well, nothing major. It's worked, and every once in a while what happens is if we put too much of something down there, we put too many, like for example, sometimes we'll get herbs, we'll get like cilantro, or we'll get like parsley, and if we have some extra and we try to throw it in there, sometimes it clogs it up. And what happens is you have to basically clear it up by doing various different things. You could try plunging, you could try putting in baking soda, and it'll clean it up after a bit. It's happened a few times. It's not a huge deal. When it happens, it's annoying. I've told some stories of big eruptions of things in the sink and stuff like that. But in general, it's not that big of a deal. You can figure out how to clean it up with a little bit of research, okay?
Yeah, just a
So the
little
other
bit of
day,
research, dude.
it's my day off. It's Thursday, and I happen to be cleaning out the fridge from the week before because I'm gonna go, grocery shopping to make room for the new groceries for the week and all the ingredients and things we need for this week's dinners because we home cook every day. And
Sure you do.
I'm
Bullshit.
throwing some veggies.
We home cook every day. I fucking call bullshit on that so fucking hard.
down into the thing,
Uh-huh.
and all of a sudden it clogs up.
Why
And I'm
you
like,
always
again, here we go, this
lying.
fucking thing. I wish it was foolproof. I wish it worked all the time. It doesn't. So, maybe it's because I didn't get the good one. Maybe it's because I kept replacing it with the same old model that's kind of a lower end model. Maybe that's what it is, right?
Why didn't you
So
upgrade
anyway,
then, huh?
here I go. I'm fucking
Here I
pumping the
go.
thing. I'm
Here
trying to
I'm
get it clean.
going.
So eventually it does seem like it got cleaned, right? I go to turn it on, and it goes like it sounds like there's giant pieces of metal grinding and slamming against each other. I'm like,
Wait, what was that? Oh, Phil, hold on. I gotta go back. Hold on 1 second. One second. I want to see something. 2.5.
Like, it sounds like there's giant pieces of metal grinding.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to see that.
Like, it sounds like there's giant pieces of metal grinding and slamming against each other. I'm like, oh shit. I turn it off and I open the cabinet. It has sprayed veggie water everywhere inside the cabinet, covering everything under there in a green mist. Just mulch coming out of the fucking thing. And I'm like, oh no. It's like, dude, I just replaced this 3 years ago. These things are supposed to last a while. They're not supposed to last 1, 2, 3 years. These things are expensive. This should have lasted me a long time. Okay? So, basically, by the way, a non-moderator, please stop talking. You're completely wrong. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're 1,000,000% wrong.
Wrong,
I don't want to stand here correcting you. You're wrong. Everything you're saying is wrong. I'm just not even going to waste time. You're wrong. Okay, continuing on. So.
How dare they try to help me?
I'm like, dude, this is absolutely ridiculous. What am I going to do? Well, I can't call the old company, right? They're not going to deal with me anymore, which I don't want to deal with them anyway. They tried to scam me 3 years ago. Now, I have a manufacturer's warranty, and it's for 5 years. The problem is, this is the 3rd unit of this that I've had. It's a piece of shit at this point. I know this. I know this unit is a piece of shit.
You should have upgraded before.
There's no reason for me to have this unit again. I would be a moron to replace this with another unit.
Be a moron.
Okay? So, I said, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to contact a new plumber. I'm going to explain the situation, and let's see what happens. All right? So I called a completely different plumber, and they said, we'll be out this weekend as soon as possible, and this is what was going on this weekend. I needed them here as soon as possible because if I can't get rid of food waste, all I'm doing is accumulating more and more garbage that either I have to manually compost or I have to go to the dump to get rid of myself.
How much, oh, look at that fucking face. Beautiful. How much do you think for 2 questions. How far away do you think the dump actually is from his house? Which I would gather is probably pretty fucking close. And number 2, how much do you think it costs to dump stuff at the dump? I'm guessing not that much, if I had to fucking guess.
Time frames, how and when you can compost and all this shit. I don't have compost bags right now around the house to do this, because usually I would use my garbage disposal to do this. So I'm like, well, you know, it is what it is. I gotta get this replaced as soon as possible. It's something essential to life out here because we're a green state. I need it. So the earliest they could have come was Saturday. And they had different time. I can come as soon as possible, right? So honestly, that's what was going on yesterday. It's no big, crazy conspiracy. It's something so mundane. Yes, I'm sure really the moronic, obsessed idiots would want to call the plumber, right? Because they're so fucking stupid. If they saw the number on the screen, they would have called the fucking plumber because they're fucking morons, okay? Anyway, so here's what happened yesterday, all right? They came out here. They show up. There's 2 plumbers, and they're both in full head-to-toe garb, branded with the company they work for. Immediately, this is a good sign, right? Immediately, this is a good sign. I'm like, they actually work for the company. They're responsible. You know what I'm saying? So, they come, I explain the situation. They say, all right, let's test it. They turn it on. They turn on the water. Fucking Niagara Falls. It's just, psh, and they go, yep. They go, once again, these things, when they break like this, they're not really fixable. You need a new one. And I'm like, again, I was like, dude, I just fucking bought one 3 years ago, and it was so expensive. And he said, well, again, here's your options. We could easily replace this with the same model. I said, no. No, absolutely not. Not in any fucking circumstance am I going to be replacing this with the same model. I'd be a nut job. I've been through this 3 times. I don't want this fucking model in my house. I want to take this thing and punt it into space. It's a piece of shit. All right? So they said, we get you the better model. It's more expensive, but it's the better model. I said, we're going to do that for sure. Give me a higher end model that's meant for better capacity, that's going to last better and everything. They bring the thing in. This thing is, I'm not kidding you, more than twice the size of my old food disposal. It's like a beast, a big chunky ass thing. Like, damn. So that thing's gonna really, it probably has extra.
Damn, that's gonna be really expensive.
This one has like double the blade capacity and everything inside. It's meant to completely demolish food. It's meant to be the high grade home unit. You know, there's other better ones that are meant for businesses, but this is like the high end home unit. All right. So they get to work. Now, what do I notice the difference between this time around and 3 years ago? Guess what they did? They disassembled all the pipes. They disassembled the ring in the sink. They installed
But you
everything
should have
fresh
had
from
them
scratch.
doing the last
so
time.
I got a brand new
Why didn't you
shiny
have them
steel
do
ring
that?
sink. I got brand new PVC pipe
Oh my
installed
God.
fresh. They wanted everything done correctly and professionally. Because think about it this way:
You
that
should
guy
have done
3
this
years ago
before.
who did that job for me,
You could have
he
asked
left
him to do
everything
that.
there. So that pipe could have easily been full of disgusting, just decaying food, build up waste, and he didn't give 2 fucks. As long as he just swapped the unit out, got his paycheck, and got out of there, he didn't care. Who cares if it works more than a week, right? But these guys were like, yeah, we're getting paid to do the work. We're going to do the work. So they were here for over an hour replacing everything, which I really appreciated. Because honestly, you want to know the truth? It was just slightly more expensive than the job I had done 3 years ago for the much better unit and to have everything replaced. So basically, this time I got what I paid for. Last time I got completely ripped off. Yeah. So, yeah, this time around I feel much better about it. And let me tell you, when they were done, you turn this thing on, it's quiet, way quieter than the old unit. And like I said, I haven't really used it yet. It's brand new, and we're not, we'll really. The test will be like later this week. We'll be go grocery shopping, and we're doing stuff like that. But basically, we're like, wow, this is interesting because what a different experience, a completely different experience from start to finish with the company.
Different experience.
A much better unit that I now have, and they replaced everything. So now it's like starting with fresh piping and everything. This is going to last longer. It's not going to clog up or whatever right away. So, there you go. I was like, wow, want to talk about different, right? Now, of course, the bummer is the price. But here's the thing, because here's what complete assholes like to say about me on the internet. Well, Phil's going to give you a sob story tomorrow where he's begging for money to pay. I'm not doing shit. Listen, you guys have been amazing. You guys this year in particular have attended my streams. You've supported my content. You've been nothing but great to me. I'm asking you for nothing. This is just a story I'm telling you because it's something to tell on the podcast, and it affected the streams this weekend. There's no fundraiser for this event. There's nothing. I paid what I paid. It is what it is, But please have some understanding, all right? Here's the understanding.
You guys gave me
This
enough
is why
money already. You
I
don't
can't
have to give me
rush
anything
to
else.
buy a $3,000 PC upgrade. This is exactly the reason why.
Oh my
when my
gosh.
tire gets stolen off of my car and I end up spending ridiculous amounts of money to replace it, when this happens and now I got to dump so much money to get this fit, this is exactly why I can't do the upgrades that people are always wondering. Why doesn't Phil just go out and dump a bunch of money into a new PC or whatever? This is exactly why. Because this stuff keeps happening. And this is life. This is not, this is something. This happens in life. Shit happens. And let me tell you, I'm happy now. Here's why I'm happy. I'm not happy because I'm pissing the money down the drain for this stuff, which I can't avoid, but I'm happy that now I'm in a position where, because of your level of support, and because I'm 3 years removed from a bankruptcy, right, I can now afford this stuff. I have some funds and or the ability to pay for this stuff when it comes up. 3 years ago, I couldn't. 3 years ago, this stuff coming up was killing me.
You're
I
still
had to say, hey guys,
playing
we
WWE
do a special
Champions like a
fundraiser because
fiend.
something
You don't
happened,
have
I
any
need to pay
money
for it.
saved up.
I don't have to do that anymore. That feels so refreshing. It does. It's very refreshing to say I can just have the ability to take care of this stuff when I need to. That doesn't feel good when I have to dump the money to pay for it, because it does feel like pain. Oh my god, it's my hard-earned money going away for something stupid, for a fucking trap.
This is more hard-earned money. You did not earn the money that they give you, Phil. They just you beg and guilt trip your fucking dents into giving you money. You did not earn that fucking money. It's not hard-earned money, you dummy. It's not even your money. It's their money that they give to you that you give to them. Jesus Christ, hard-earned
should have worked for 10 years and only worked for 3. For a tire stolen off my goddamn car because of the crime out here is so bad and no one's doing anything about it, right? But at least I'm in a situation where I can handle it. I don't need to sit here and do a special fundraiser marathon. But the funny part about that is my shithead, shitbag haters will say the opposite. You see, he e-begged for this and he did that. It didn't happen, right? Yeah, 3 years ago that stuff was happening because I had no money and no credit and I was in the middle of a bankruptcy and I had no way to pay for anything. Absolutely. That was my lowest of my low in my financial life. I haven't done anything like that in 100 fucking years, but they don't want to act like that's the case. Instead, they want to act like that's forever. Just like they want to act like things I said 10, 15 years ago were things I said yesterday. And they make highlights of the negative stuff from my past and they put it out to companies to try to get me canceled and shit. This is exactly the kind of behavior that they engage in. So all I would say is don't listen to their bullshit. Don't buy into their horse shit. All right? It's that simple. This is something mundane and normal. It happens to everyone. It's not a big deal. It's not to be dwelled on forever. It's not to be memed in a stupid fucking way. I'm not asking you for a penny for it. It's just life. Shit happens. Because you support my content so well during the good times, when a bad, shitty time like this happens, I can handle it. If something went horribly, horribly wrong, I would let you know. But this is just normal life, man.
Would you let us know, Phil?
And this is something that if you're younger, you may not understand. But when you're an adult and you have your own place and you have a family and this kind of shit,
when you're an adult,
and you gotta roll with it. You can't get upset about it. You can't get so infuriated and angry at it. You say, you know what? I've learned to live with it. It's just, it's life. Whenever you think you can do one thing, you can't. Like, I'll give you an example. My fucking dishwasher has been broken for a year now. It broke, what, last fall? And every single time that I think, oh, I'm going to save up enough money to possibly get a replacement dishwasher, here it comes again. Here's something else that's gone wrong, right? That I have to put the money into. It literally has happened, I'm not kidding you, 3 times in the last year. I thought I had saved up enough funds to replace my dishwasher. And every time that I'm ready, I'm like, all right, maybe we're going to go to an appliance store this week on our day off, and we'll start looking at appliances. And if we find a good one, nope, because then here we go. Here comes something that happens, and that's the end of that.
You don't need a dishwasher, though.
There's nothing you can really do.
Arguably, you don't even need a garbage
Really, there's nothing you can really do. Home ownership, you got to deal with this kind of stuff.
Whatever.
Living in the United States,
you actually own the home,
you
though,
got to deal with
Phil?
this kind of stuff. You just get to the point where you're like, yeah, well, as long as you can handle it, and as long as it's not life-crippling shit. You know, my house didn't burn down. My family is healthy.
Not yet.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta be happy for what I got. It sucks that I had to drop so much money in the last several months on horse shit. A fucking stolen tire, an entire rim off of my car, entire wheel assembly. I mean, what the fuck? Who would have thought that would have ever happened? And I gotta pay for that out of pocket. Now this going on, and I gotta pay for that out of pocket, right? It's bullshit. But it's life, and you learn to roll with it. And sorry that it affected the streams. I didn't want it to affect the streams, but the bottom line is, if I didn't get this fixed right away, it would have just become a compounding problem. I would have had too much trash. I would have had to start working on heavy-duty composting, and it's like, fuck this. I need this thing. This is what everyone uses in Washington State.
Composting is fine. There's nothing wrong
I need one
with
right away, a
composting.
replacement. This is how it works here, all right? So, you know, sorry that we did have to swap the streams around and that Final Fantasy was affected yesterday. Now, was it some crazy
You didn't like
conspiracy
Final
story?
Fantasy
No, it wasn't.
anyway.
It was a little entertaining to tell you the backstory of how I got scammed by a bad plumbing company, wasn't it? That was pretty entertaining, I think. But outside of that, you know, it's not a big deal, you know? And I'm just happy that at the other end of the day, I have a better unit now. It seems to be working really well. And now we move forward positively. I don't have to talk about it anymore, you know?
What was that? Positively.
So, it sucks that I had to spend the money, but that's about the
Now
only
we look
downside to
forward
it.
to it
And I'm good. I'm good.
positively.
There's no fucking crazy fundraiser here
Ow.
for it. We're good. All right? We move forward normally, you know? Hey, you want to support my content? Please do. Like I said, this weekend already is a slow weekend. I knew yesterday was going to be slow, and now today is absolutely going to be slow. We got one stream today. That's it. Please support if you can. But I'm not going to go crazy asking you for anything above and beyond because you guys are awesome to me already, you know? So thank you for that.
Thanks, you fucking
And thanks
losers.
for listening to the story, and I hope you found it entertaining.
Oh, so
And
entertaining.
I will
Phil.
repeat myself one more time. It's time to start calling out the crazy people on the internet.
Oh
No,
my
No
God.
one had any right to try to see the phone number on my fucking cell phone screen and try to contact the people on
We're
the other end of the
doubling
phone.
down on that, aren't we?
That's insanity. Please call it out when you see it.
So
It's
crazy,
about time.
guys.
It's
You
time
don't
to say,
even
no,
know.
stop your madness. Stop harassing Phil and his family.
This is
You're
madness.
nuts. Seek help. Because if more
This
people would actually
is
step up and say that,
Sparta.
then these people would be fucking embarrassed. And they would realize what an embarrassment they are to humanity, and they would probably move
Oh,
on with
yes,
their lives.
to
But instead, you have
humanity,
so
they're
many
embarrassment,
enablers
yes,
on the internet.
because we're making fun of
every
you.
little snippet, every little piece, every little thing you can get.
The
Let's do
fuck?
it. Let's be intrusive. Let's ruin people's lives. No. It's time, as an internet community, it's time to
No,
step up and
stop
stop
that.
this fucking insanity.
Get some help.
It has to end. No more
my God.
allowing people to
This
try
is
to actually
pathetic.
ruin people's lives for fun and jollies.
Oh,
it
yes,
has to stop
ruining
at some
people's
point.
lives. Mhm.
You know, like I said, if that behavior was engaged in real life, in person, there would be restraining orders out the fucking ass, and people would be arrested. But because it's online,
Yes,
it's all just
we would be
allowed.
arrested,
Right? No, it's
okay.
not. It's sick behavior.
Cat,
I was already
they're
going to tell you
making
the story
fun of
today.
me. Please
There's no reason
arrest
to try to
them.
call, you know, this kind of shit. I
No,
know how it-
what the fuck are you talking
Look
about?
at what's happened with this car stuff. Last year, right? I had a car repair that was necessary. My car wouldn't start. I told you the basic story, gave you no details. They called every...
There was a car repair shop right down the road from where you fucking worked, and you said it was close by. With just those two sentences or phrases or whatever, people could easily figure out what fucking car dealership it was. They didn't call 20 different car dealerships. It was like either this one or that one. So they called both. Like, yeah, we found it.
fucking
not
car
that
repair
hard to
place in
find.
like a 5-mile radius, impersonating me, trying to get them to send them the invoice for the work. That's not normal behavior. It shouldn't be rewarded.
And
it
you
shouldn't
were
be
being
applauded. It should be,
scammed, and you
what the
still
fuck is your
fucking
problem?
bought it.
You should be an outcast of society because
Oh
you're a
my
low-life
gosh.
scumbag trying to get private information.
You
and
see
ruin
what
people.
I mean? He's so pro censorship when it comes to other people, but God forbid someone tries to censor him, and he freaks the fuck out about it because it's only about like, oh, if it's for anyone against me, that's totally fine. They should be locked up and killed and all this other crazy shit. But if it's against me, that's not fucking
People's
fair.
lives. You should be shunned from the internet,
You
not
see?
rewarded for your fucked up behavior.
Who's being rewarded?
How would you like it if someone did that to you? If your everything in your life, people
my
were trying to bore into it for no good fucking reason. What would have been the point of someone calling the plumber? But that's how messed up these people are. It has to end. At some point, it has to end. And now I'm being
Get
serious
off the
about
internet
it. It's
and
time for
away,
all of us
Phil.
who are
That's easily how you do it.
who are like, I would not want that to happen to myself or my family member, to speak up about
I wouldn't
it.
want.
Stop this madness. This should not be allowed.
I wouldn't want that to
There's
happen
one
to me or my
difference.
family.
Okay, you want to
Oh,
make
no.
fun of darksydephil because he said something stupid on a stream. You want to make fun of darksydephil because his gameplay sucks in Street Fighter 6 and he raged when he was playing. Or
That's
you don't
not
like
what
his
you
opinions
said
on
before,
Zelda
though,
Tears of
is
the
it,
Kingdom,
Phil?
anything
Because
like that.
before
That's
you
all fair
were-
game. Every day.
Oh, is
that
it?
I'm on the internet,
Okay,
and
you
I
were
put
bitching,
content out,
complaining when we were making
it's
fun of you too. So
eligible
shut
to
up.
be criticized, micromanaged, even derided. But when you try to go into my private life for no reason besides I just like to fucking hurt people, that's
Oh my
time for people
God.
to step up and say, let's end it. Let's intervene
Oh, yes.
and let's end this
Calling
madness. It
us
should not be
out.
allowed.
Uh-huh.
On the internet, on YouTube, on Twitch, wherever it's happening, it should never be allowed. It should be completely stopped, and people need to call it out for the
He's
madness.
so
it is.
pissed
It's not
off.
normal human
What the
behavior
hell?
to be trying to
He's
hurt
so
someone in a
fucking
stalkerish
hurt.
mentality.
What
It
hurt
needs to
and
be
pissed
stopped.
off.
All right? Okay. Yikes. So it's really pathetic, embarrassing for the entire human race that I have to say something like that.
Oh
Like, you
yes,
just
for
know
the
that,
entire
right?
human race, it's embarrassing. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies
let's get
and
the shout
gentlemen, I'm an
we
idiot.
start today on the YouTube side of things with Lunch Meat, who just did a super chat and says, put this towards the dishwasher pimp. Well, thank you, Lunch Meat. I appreciate that. It's funny because I've been having a conversation with both my parents and my wife about the dishwasher.
I
And
call
every time
my
we're like, you
parents.
know, it's a good thing we didn't replace it because every time that I look to do it, something else happens and the money has to go to that.
You
and
don't need
at
a
this
dishwasher. Just wash the fucking
it was
dishes.
last fall when it broke and we were looking to have it replaced around Christmas. I mean, we'll be lucky to have it replaced by this Christmas at this rate. You know what I mean? Like, we're so used to it not being broken and not working that we might as well just accept that we're probably, maybe it's cursed. Maybe we're just not meant to have a dishwasher or something. I don't know.
You don't need one.
I really just don't know. It's pretty crazy. In reality, it's been this long
Crazy.
and things just keep happening constantly, right? So anyway, thank you, Lunch Meat, for the super chat. I appreciate it.
All right, we're done with that one.